We're live. What's up? It's kind of grainy, don't it? Maybe it's the background. I don't know. Maybe I should go. No, I can't. This is where the internet hits the best. Anyway, how goes it? I look kind of. Oh, I don't mean to. Just the way it looks. I don't mean for it to look that way. It just does. Anyway, how goes it? Everybody all right? Everybody doing okay? So you can see behind me, it's open air. It's supposed to be raining here in a minute. I don't know. It might not. You never know. Anyway, it's crazy out here. I mean, it's pretty crazy out here. Seen a dude actually literally having a conversation with someone that was not there. Wow, wow. I mean, carrying and almost, yeah, just it's crazy. It's crazy. All these drugs that are coming in and weird, weird. A lot of homeless people here too. My God, dude sleeping by a tree right over there. Got a dog next to him. Uh, People sleeping in their cars. Anyway, oh gee, what did I do with my phone? That's right here. Anyway, how goes it? Finally got me a phone. Not a bad looking one either. I was kind of going over um, when Jesus talked to the Pharisees, the religious crowd. Oh boy, you know, yeah, it's pretty intense. Got to put on some bug spray because the mosquitoes here aren't as bad as North Dakota, but they aren't very good either. I don't know how to say it. So I'm gonna put this on real quick. Bug spray. Yeah, I had to change my atmosphere big time. Tell you when stuff goes intense, it really does, big time. Anyway, uh, excuse me a moment while I put stuff on my legs. Damn mosquitoes like to eat. Anyway, I mean, I feel like doo doo. You know, uh, it's just like everything's just intense. It seemed like I had it easier when I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. Seems that way. It is really isn't. You know, now that I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to be doing, seems like every opposition is against me. I mean, you name it, it's against me. Small stuff too, even. You know, and it piles on, it piles on. It's like, how much crap do I have to go through, man? you know, how much crap, But I think about, and I really don't like doing that either because it seems like I'm trying to counter. You know, seems like I'm Mr. Smart guy and I'm going to counter it and say, okay, well, I got the scripture for that. You know what I mean? And I don't like that either. I really don't. You know, if I deserve pain and suffering, well, then I should enjoy it or at least accept it. That's how I look at it. You know, and I believe I deserve a little bit of it. You know, um, but there's a lot of scriptures coming to me. You know, uh, Romans, all chapter 8, I believe it's 23. I believe it is. All things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. I'm about to get some water here before they shut down the area where I get water. All things work together for the good to them that love God, to them are the called according to His purpose. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. If God be for us, who can be against us? There is no temptation taking you such as common to man. But with temptation, God will make a way for you to escape that you may be able to bear it. Just sharing with you guys what I'm going through. You know, my legs hurt like crazy, man. I mean, I literally fell down yesterday from the pain in my legs walking so much because I'm walking a lot. I don't have a car right now, so I mean I'll probably end up getting one. I don't know. What the heck is that? Anyway, I slept outside last night. Oh my god, that was a what you call it and a half. And so I went to sleep downtown in a little park. For some reason, I was out by about 10, and it was just crazy people everywhere. Then about midnight, 12:30, I woke up, and there was speakers going off on the next area, and I thought, oh, they're probably going to be here in a minute. So I loaded up my stuff and headed out. Found a spot to sleep by the highway, all places. It was peaceful. Peaceful, kind of what you call it. Anyway, there's a program here I'm going to go look into, something like that. Anyway, just to share with you some of the stuff that I'm facing while I'm here. And like I said, when I was living the foolish life, everything seemed to be okay. You know, got jobs, no problem. Got spaces, no problem. You know. Anyway, but those scriptures were coming to me, in circumstances, situations of God actually going through that stuff. Literally, literally going through all that stuff. Anyway, um, I was reading the 23, Matthew 23, about him telling the Pharisees, you know, calling them hypocrites again and again and again. It blew my mind. I mean, hypocrites, he called them, you know. Let me read it. Let me read a little bit of it. I'll go over it with you a little bit. It's Matthew 23. If you don't know where Matthew is, it's in the New Testament. It goes Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's how it does it. It says here, then spake Jesus to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not you after their works, for they say and do not. They say and do not, you know. And you see that a lot today. You see that big time today. I mean, it's just crazy how things are. I myself never thought I would see what I'm seeing around me. I never. I mean, I'm not lying, man. Everywhere I walk, there's 10 or 15 people that look like zombies. There's a group, like even when I was walking through the park, it's kind of dark, so I put on my flashlight so I could see where I'm walking. And this dude starts yelling at me. And there was two of them. Starts yelling at me and saying, "Hey, get that light off me!" And I didn't know nobody was there. I was like, "Oh, sorry, bad." So I put it. I didn't put it. I didn't. I had it on the ground. It was facing that way. I guess it hit him. I don't know. So I put it lower to the ground. Turn that. And they started yelling at me. And there was another dude by the path, and he looked at me. I said, "What?" He goes, "What's up, bro?" I said, "Hey, what's up?" So when that dude kept yelling, I said, "Calm down, man. It's good." So I covered my light. I kept walking, and he just kept rambling on. You know, and I'm telling you, it's crazy because it's dominant here. It's so, if you will, multiplied by multiple. They say and do not. They say and do not. Okay, here we go. Now here's what they do. They bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne and lay them on men's shoulders. Let me read that again. I mean, and it blows my mind because I see how these guys tell people, and it's crazy how they tell people, you might not be able to pay your rent, but send it to us, and then God will give it back to you. That's what they say. That's a hell of a thing to tell people. You know what I'm saying? That's their home. That's their life. And then they say, well, you got to use faith. But come on, folks. They bind heavy burdens, grievous to be borne, and they put them on men's shoulders. In other words, they make everybody else do stuff, And that's what it says. But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. They won't even do anything. They tell you to do it, but they don't do it. See? They say and do not. They tell you to do that, but they won't do anything like that. You know, I remember my wife telling me that they called her their armor bearer, and I'm like, what armor bearer? And I guess that Victory Outreach closed here in Yakima. I was praying about that. Let's get those cultists out. Anyway, they called her and they made her do all kinds of stuff. And this is what blew my mind because she said this. She was gone for a year, something like that, from that church. And as soon as she got back in church, they said, "Oh, now you can catch up with your tithes from the last year that you were gone." What the heck is that about? Like, forget you, monkey. It just blows my mind. and that's what they do. Anyway, so let me go here. Um, but all the works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries, enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues. So they like, their presence. They like, they make their things huge to look good, I guess. Okay. And greetings in the markets, and they be called of men rabbi, rabbi. And they love being called rabbi. Watch what it says here. Be not you called rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and you all are brethren. See? And again, please, please, please don't omit and think just because those that are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. It's not talking about gender. I want you to know that. So he says there, you're all brethren. Don't one of you be called master. Okay. So in other words, no one's above the other. That's what that means. No one is more than the other. No one is better than the other. No one is above the other at all. We're the same. And it's just like a family. I mean, it's hard because family, man, it's a curse, if you will. It's a it's a craziness, if you will. It is, you know. I see it. I see it in that respect. And but when I look at my kids, all of them, Jasmine, Joaquin, Alicia, Charlene, and Charles, they look the same to me. They're all the same. I don't love one more than the other. I love them all the same. You know. Anyway, that's how God sees all of us. Period. Okay. Okay, then it says here, and call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father which is in heaven. And it's not talking about like your dad, your physical, carnal dad. It's not saying, don't call him your father. But what it's saying is this: once you're born again, the only one that guides you is God. So if someone is truly following God, you're not getting guidance from them, you're getting guidance from God through them. That's what that is. So basically, they're not going to take credit, they're not going to invoke their own ideas. They're going to basically give you what God wants you to have, because God is your true father. And I think I've shared that before, but I've had guys come to me and they tell me, hey, please don't get all weird, but they tell me, hey, sexually, can I do this with my wife? They would ask about a sexual thing. And I look at them and I say, I'm not your friend. That's how much they trusted me, because they knew I wouldn't run around and, this and that. But I said, I'm not your father. Go ask your father. And all I can do is show you scriptures. But go ask your dad, your father in heaven. Ask him and see what he says about it. You see? Now watch this. It says here, so get your guidance from God. That's basically it. Neither be you called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Okay. And I deserve the abasement. I do, abased. Okay. Now watch what he says here. So he's telling them these things, and then he goes right to the leadership of the church. Jesus does this. Goes right to the leadership of the church. Goes right to them. Goes right at them. Goes head on with them. This is phenomenal. What's this? And it'd be, I don't know if you have any heroes on earth, someone you look up to, whether it be a Catholic priest, a Lutheran minister, reverend, uh, minister on TV, you know, and some whack job that you think is, because everybody thinks at that time Jesus was a whack job. Even the Pharisees said it. He casteth out devils through Beelzebub, the prince of devils. That's what they said. They said that about Jesus. So anybody you think of, I don't care, Billy Graham. Um, let's see who else there is. See, Billy Graham. Um, Anybody that you think is highly upheld. And here comes Jesus and knocks him down. Watch. Won't you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For you neither go in yourselves, neither suffer you them that are entering to go in. In other words, you don't even go in yourself. You don't even go in yourself. And the ones that are trying to get in there, you won't even let them in. Wow. You won't go in, but you won't let them in either. You know what I mean? And I find that a lot. I find people that don't want to work hard, people that do work hard, they hate when they work hard. And I face that from a lot of people. Anyway, here we go. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. Long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation. Wow. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Woe unto you, blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. So they wouldn't, if they swore by the temple, they wouldn't say nothing. But the gold in the temple, then they say, oh, you're no good if you do that. Watch what Jesus says here. You fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? 18. And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon the altar, he is guilty. Notice gold and gifts. You fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifieth the gift? Look at that. The gift or the altar that sanctifieth the gift. Now watch. Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, sweareth by it, and by all things thereon. And whosoever shall swear by the temple, sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven, sweareth by the throne of God, and by him that sitteth thereon. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. Read that again. And have omitted, gotten rid of, and didn't mess with it, the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. Okay? Judgment, mercy, and faith. See, this is the thing about us, folks. We are condemned by our own selves. Period. It's our conscience. Now, don't get me wrong. We make great excuses. I ain't going to lie. We do. We're great at excuses. Us human beings are the best at that. We want to point somewhere else. We want to give a circumstance that occurred. And yes, circumstances do occur. I 100% I agree with that. But the thing is that judgment is there. And I know everybody thinks judgment day. It's right there right now. How does it say it? John said it. If anyone believes in the Son of Man, he is passed from death to life. And if anyone doesn't believe in him, the wrath of God abides on him. It abides on him. It lives on him, you know? And that's how it is. That's exactly how. And I know. Let me get to this. Hold on. So judgment, but then in that judgment, God gives us mercy. God gives us mercy in that judgment because he has an understanding of what we are because he became us 100%. So he has a full understanding, you know. I remember, I'll give you an example. I remember, look at all the geese. Let me show you the geese. I don't know if you can see them or not. Can you see them? If you can see them, where are they? Oh, there they are. Canadian geese, I believe they are. Anyway, pretty cool. They're all up there. I don't know what they're eating, but they're finding, and that's what kind of helps me a bit. That does help me a bit, you know, because I'm disgruntled. I'm buyer beware. I'm upset with my purchase, if you will. But then I look at them. They don't have, if you will, um, they don't have a government. They don't. They don't have a president. They don't have social services. They don't have any of that. And they're fed. God takes care of them, you know? And look, they're not even worried. Here I am right here. And they look pretty tasty down there. Because I am a carnivore. But they are not, if you will, hurt. I mean, they're taken care of. And he gave us an example. Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather in the barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are you not much better than they? Wow. You know. So the fact that if you will, by the grace of God, the fact that oh gee, that motorhome's leaving, do, if you will, have the vast in front of me of freedom like you wouldn't believe. You know, my feet didn't hurt so much. I'd be walking a lot more, but oh my, it's my upper front calf. I get by the shin. That would hurt. Anyway, but I look at that and I think, man, he blesses them. He takes care of them. They're they don't have to pay anything. All they got to do is look for it. That's it. And it's funny because it's not even the rain's starting to come down a little more intense. I might have to put up my cardboard so it doesn't get my computer wet, because you know what happens with electronics and rain, dun, 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 that kind of thing. Anyway, let me do that. I'll do that real quick, like, so the rain don't hit it. Then I can blame it on the anyway. So, um, I know there's no light on me. Here, let me see if I got a flashlight. I think I got a flashlight. Get a little light on me. Oh, I don't look so gruesome, twosome, I guess you'd say. Oh yeah, I could do that. Watch. I learned a little bit about TV. Give me a second here. Not TV itself, but basically. Oh, gee. Give me a second. Might be in here. It might be in here. Oh crap! I forgot to hook that. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh gee. All right, cardboard. Goodness gracious. Okay. There. That wind is something else too. That rain might be coming in here pretty strong. Uh, Let me see here if I can have this happen. Have, has, or had. I remember that when I was a goof. Oh, here we go. All right. So then we'll grab this. Watch. I think it'll work. Maybe not. Oh my god. What a cheap light. Wait a minute. Maybe it'll. No. I thought it would. That a little better? Heck no. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll take it back. Might be because I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. Ah, so much, so much. Anyway, let's go back to this now. Oh yeah, judgment, mercy, and that's what God does. God understands what we are, who we are, why we are, the whole 9 yards. That was kind of a rhyme there. But He became us. He became us. Okay, so He knows every aspect of it. Oh, let me give you that example. So when I got COVID, I literally had to be on an oxygen thing. Literally. I mean, literally, I had to monitor. Honestly, this was crazy. I had to monitor my heart, the oxygen within my body, and this little thing that I put on my finger, it would tell me how much. And if I got under 80, what was it? No, 90, 90, 92, 88, between there and there, I had to breathe the oxygen. You know, I had to breathe it. I mean, literally. You know, and I couldn't move fast. I could not move. I mean, this scared the crap out of me. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna lie, man. When I was younger, I'd have all these old people with those oxygens on their face, riding those little carts, and I used to get upset at them because they were moving slow. I used to be like, "Oh, you rascals! What the heck? Come on, move it, get out of my way." Now I understand, man. I don't say anything. I let them take their time. Take your time, Grandpa. Take your time, Grandma. I ain't saying nothing, and I didn't. I never said anything to them at all, at all. You know. And so here, um, let me see it like this. Here, nobody's calling. guess they aren't too big on that. Anyway, well, so 4. Okay, that's why. And so here, I understood. Once I got into that state, I understood how vulnerable and all that is. So I didn't look it down on them anymore at all. I did not do that anymore. Okay. All right. So judgment, mercy, and then it says faith. So when God gives us this faith, when God gives this to us, like people are showing up. I better shut down, maybe. I think I have to. Anyway, thanks for listening. Uh, we'll talk later. I'll do some more later. Bye. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.